Okay, howdy friends and neighbors. It's been a while since I've done a YouTube video. I am here in Hebden Bridge, England. I had hoped to take everything outside and do this on location so you could see where I am, but it's kind of raining on and off and I don't want to risk the computer getting all rained on. So I'm inside the home of my friend Rebecca, who is hosting me for a retreat here in Hebden Bridge. I have done this Hebden Bridge retreat maybe 4 or 5 times. It's kind of become an annual thing for me. I'll probably be here next year in case you want to sign up for next year. I had hoped to do some YouTube videos as I traveled around Europe, but about a week into my trip, the iMovie stopped working. I tried for the first time when I was in Germany to do a video, and I actually thought I was recording a video, but nothing happened. And then afterwards, iMovie just crapped out and wouldn't work anymore. And now I finally got it working. When I'm traveling, the internet is hit and miss. Depending on where I am, I might get a good strong signal that I can use, or I might get this kind of weird intermittent signal that it's sort of like in. Remember how internet was in 1995 when you had to like dial up and you had to wait like 10 minutes for each email to send, and then all that. That's what some of the connections I've gotten are like, and so they're no good for downloading a new version of iMovie or any of that. But I finally got it, and now we're doing it. So this whole month for me has been kind of an ongoing ongo. And ongo is just a Japanese word for a Buddhist retreat. And in an ongo, I have never actually done an official sort of designated ongo, although looking back on it, the way Nishijima Roshi conducted things, you could probably say it was sort of his version of an ongo sometimes. And an ongo is where you dedicate yourself to Zen practice as your main thing for a certain period of time. The standard period is 90 days, although there are shorter ongos. There are a few longer ongos, not many. This is my ongo for about a month. So for pretty much in the entire month of September 2017, I have been doing either retreats or one-day sitting type things or other sorts of zen-y things punctuated by periods of travel. So either I'm doing a retreat or I'm traveling to do the next retreat. So that's been my life, and it's been kind of weird. As some of you who have followed my blog know, at first I was really having a struggle, and I put that blog up to try to kind of maybe help those of you who are struggling with the practice to know that even we who have done it for years and years and decades and teach it and everything else, even we have trouble with it. But some people were sending me distressed emails like, "Are you okay? Can I help? Can I send a care package?" And which is real nice. But no, that's not the purpose of that. Wasn't a plea for help, but just to try to say this is how it is. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a worthwhile thing to do. So we keep doing it even in spite of it not being easy. The other thing that happens when you dedicate yourself to this kind of deep introspection for a long time is you get weird. You get weird in the brain. Weird in a good way, I think. You start to see things differently. You start to experience yourself and others differently. And that's real useful, and some of it is very true. The danger of that, if danger it can be said to be, and I think sometimes it is a bit of a danger, is that you start to remove yourself from normal human life, a normal consensus human life, let's say. And it can be difficult to transition back in, which is why my teacher, Nishijima Roshi, was very much into the idea of practice being integrated into daily life. So he was much more interested in a practice where you got up in the morning, did your zazen, went to work, came back from work, ate dinner, did your zazen, went to bed, and just did that every day, rather than a practice where you went on a really intense retreat where you did zazen and zazen and zazen and zazen and zazen and then came out of it going, "Wah!" That kind of stuff can be interesting, and it's useful to do retreats on a regular basis. Before I started leading retreats, my modus operandi, or whatever what you want to call it, was to do one retreat a year at least, every year. Sometimes I do 2 or 3, or in Germany 3, as we say, if you've seen Inglourious Bastards. And I thought that was a really good thing, and it proved to be very useful. If you do it more than that, you run the risk of getting so kind of far out that you can't integrate into society anymore. And I think it's really important to keep a kind of balance. You want to kind of get into the deep introspection stuff because it's useful, and it helps you see the real world more as it is. And that's why I recommend doing Zazen every day and retreats every year and all of that. If you get kind of too into that, it's very seductive. It can become almost addictive to having these great headspaces and these seeming moments of revelation that'll come during long retreats. There's always, a little bit of something of that. And some people get way too into that, and some people get way too into the idea that that is real practice. But I think real practice is the day-to-day stuff, is sitting on your cushion every day and making that work with your life so that you can still deal with normal people and job stuff and family stuff and all of that. But you also have this other perspective, this deeper perspective on what that actually is, because you've gone deep into yourself, which is a way of going deep into the universe. I know that sounds spooky, but to go deeply into yourself is to, in a sense, in a real sense, not a metaphorical sense, is to go deeply into the mind of everyone. Every person who ever lived and who lives now, and all your family and your boss and everybody. That's whose mind you're going into as well as your own. That's real good. But you kind of got to temper that to make sure you can also deal with the way other humans think of things and do things. So I really go for the integrated practice. So soon I have to get ready and pack my stuff and go on to the retreat center at Hebden Bridge, where I'll be for the next 4 days. And I may be able to do one of these from there. I'm not sure what their internet situation is like and whether my schedule will allow it, but maybe you'll see me again. Otherwise, I will check in with you when I get back to the United States. And thank you for watching.